What up, teacups? Welcome, beautiful tarot family, to my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. This is probably not your first time showing up to this channel, but if it is, welcome, and welcome back to everybody else. The loyal followers, I appreciate you guys. This is totally off the cuff. I'm not totally doing the traditional tarot shuffle. There's a lot going on right now, right? There's a lot of anarchy and chaos, and let's just bring it down to some optimism and light and positivity. I feel like now more than ever, it's a time where we're all being called upon to be light workers. And I know that sounds kind of funny because a lot of us look at ourselves and go me, I don't have that psychic ability and that intuition and those God-given gifts that light workers do. And that's such a false perception, right? Like, we all came from the same place. We were all born from the same earth and substances, right? So it's like we all have this beautiful intuition inside of us. We all have the ability to be light workers, which is all about just spreading light, spreading love, positivity, optimism, right? And we need that right now. So I usually pull cards every morning just to get a sense of the energies. And the other day I asked specifically, all right, there's a lot going on right now. What are some of the main messages that I need to hear in order to proceed with videos and throughout the day and whatever? And so these came out a couple days ago, and I purposely kept them out of my table because I was trying to think about it in different ways and absorb the messages. And what started off as a sort of a personal reading for me, I was like, oh, this is a collective reading. I think I'm supposed to go on my channel and do this reading. So the first card that came out was the Sun, right? So automatically I'm like, oh, thank God we're going to be okay. And honestly, right? The Sun, when you hear any tarot reader pull it up, it's like, oh my God, that's one of the best cards in tarot, right? There's a really no negative connotation to the Sun, other than, I guess, patience, right? It's a renewal. It's a rebirth. Those sunflowers in the back, it's about turning your face to God, right? And knowing that there will be the dawning of a new day. There will be a Bright Side of the Road by Van Morrison. I love that song. But it's beautiful. Yeah, it's happiness. It's optimism. It's creativity. I frequently will pull this card, and in my own life, I'll wind up or end up doing some sort of creative venture that I didn't anticipate, like breaking out the scrapbook or taking some photography things or, quilting or this or that, something that involves some creativity. So that could be what this indicates first and foremost is if we're all doing doing right by society and staying in and trying to quarantine a bit, do some stuff that brings you energy and joy and creativity, right? Creativity, particularly music to me, is one of the most healing therapies you can do. But yeah, of what I was asking about the energies, the first card that came out was the Sun. So I was like, boom, beautiful. We got this, people. We got this. So that should bring you some sort of reassurance that there will be the dawning of a new day. Right now we are kind of in the thick of it, right? And so bottom of the deck, when I did again this reading that is now the collective, it's this card. It's the Six of Swords. So in general, Six in Tarots are beautiful cards. They're sort of about reestablishing balance and harmony. But it does come after the Five. Fives are all about agents of change and chaos and craziness going on. So with this, though, it's specifically saying we are getting out of a time of mental chaos. We keep hearing the term mental hygiene as well as personal physical hygiene, right? And that is so important because we're getting lost in our thoughts. We're getting lost in our overactive minds that are jumping to worst case scenarios. This is needing to say we need to turn our ships with our lessons, our swords, our thoughts, our knowledge towards sunshine, towards healing, right? And as it seems, healing is going to involve isolating ourselves until we can kind of, nip this thing in the bud and get on top of it. What's also really beautiful about this is that the King of Cups wanted to come out, right? He is the healer, right? This can frequently be a card of medicine, of doctors, right? So and the other card that came out is the Hierophant. So that was sort of my 3-card spread that came out. Some major heavy hitters, right? And then with that being, again, optimistic, bottom of the deck, we're moving on. We're going from craziness, right? Rocky waves to smooth sailing, to clarity, to peace, to reestablished order. And basically what we're walking away with is knowledge and power and thoughts, things that maybe we didn't consider before, things we need to be mentally prepped for, physically prepped for, emotionally prepped for. We are going through a difficult lesson, but we are going to get to the other side of the shore. We are going to get to, rebirth, renewal, regrowth, sunshine, optimism, happiness. I do think it's important because there's a beautiful balance here of, obviously, I think for those who are familiar, I'm not here to push anything on you, religious, spiritual, whatever. What do you believe is all good for you, right? But there is a really nice balance here of spiritual practice with both, really. Cups are all about our emotions, our love, our happiness, our faith, our spirituality, and creativity. That, honestly, that's the message I take away. We need to focus on things that bring us joy and happiness, happy emotions, optimistic, positive vibes, right? Light workers. Creativity, growth, renewal of ourselves, of our mind, our body, our spirits, and having some sort of faith in a higher power, right? For some of you, maybe that's government. For some of you, maybe that's God. For some of you, maybe that's you stepping up into like your destined role as a light worker, right? In crazy times, we as a people look up to those we need guidance and advice from. And this is almost saying to me, looking at yourself as a person who needs to step up and lead the charge of kindness, of helping people to find like mental clarity in a place that comes from a very pure heart. You know, they always say like the opposite of love isn't hate, it's fear. And it's interesting. The bottom of the deck is what's popping out. It's just the corner of it. I'll show you what it looks like. The bottom of the deck is this. And so it's almost saying to me, like, don't let that devil win. Because again, ultimately, to bring it back to like a religious thing, whatever, they're the only one. But what beats the devil is God. What beats the darkness is light. And so that's what I mean. It's like the devil is showing itself just a little bit, saying that if we don't look at this from a very logical perspective, we're going to let our darkness win, right? And we can't do that. We need to kind of like step up and take on this role as light workers and ultimately defeat the devil, defeat the darkness, because the devil don't stand a chance against us, right? Representing our fears, like our darkest anxieties that exist within our subconscious, the, oh my God, what if this happens? And we're not there yet. And we don't even need to get there, right? It's like being solution oriented versus falling into like negative thoughts or negative behaviors. What's overpowering the devil is these major heavy hitters: faith, love, spirituality, and I do want to say leadership. I started this video off saying, really, it's a time where we're being asked to reassess and look at our life of, where have we gone terribly wrong, right? In a sense, there is some kind of destruction going on, but with that, as the Empress shows herself, there will be creation. There will be a rebuilding, but with Earth energy, Taurus energy, right? Seeds to flowers, or acorns to oak trees, right? It's going to be slow. It's going to be a process of rebuilding, but it's like fixing the ingredients so that we can get it right. This does say to me love and healing, the card of Temperance, the love angel Michael. Love and healing, alchemy, getting the ingredients right this time so that it has a better chance to grow and succeed. Maybe this, crumbling of certain things in our society, of certain system of government or this or that. It's like we need to do it right this time and get it up and running with love, with clarity, with purity, right? And yes, you can call that hippy-dippy and optimistic, but we have no reason not to be, right? Like, you're watching a tarot reading, so there must be an element of you that is spiritual in some sense, but anyway, this really wasn't pre-planned at all. This is a message that has sort of been sitting on my table for a couple days now, and I just feel like it's my duty as someone who gets on my YouTube channel and spins out these messages that I call empowerment readings. That's really what I'm trying to do. Who am I to just be like, oh, I'm going to take a break from my tarot channel because, the world is in crisis? Like, no, it's my job to step up and continue to do these empowerment messages and honor myself. If I'm in a place where my head is cloudy and not in a good spot, then yeah, that's a good time to sit out. But I woke up this morning and I have to admit, guys, I felt great. I was like, okay, I'm working from home. I got set up with a laptop. I'm so fortunate that I was able to have that sort of setup. And it's like, yeah, it's my job to go on here and do the intuitive teacup stuff because that is what I love doing. It brings me joy and happiness. And it's a great way to connect with people, though we're not physically together. There are people out there watching that. So, hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining me today. And as I was setting up my little card spread to share all this with you, which I'm sorry it turned into a bit of a ramble. I'm wrapping it up, I promise. I lit this candle, right? And no, I'm not being endorsed to say this, but House of Intuition is fantastic. I love this little candle. They're major arcana cards. And I'm actually not a Pisces, despite it being the moon card. I do have Pisces in my chart, like so many of us. But the moon is all about going through the darkness, right? Having faith that, once there are different cycles, changing up, essentially, you go from the moon to the sun, the star to the moon to the sun. We're making our way through some major upheaval, and it is tapping tapping into our subconscious. Now, the darkness of our subconscious, sure, absolutely. We see that coming out when people are frantically running to the grocery store and hoarding things like, there isn't going to be a tomorrow. There will be. The sun will come out tomorrow, right? Let's all sing together. No. But yeah, so you can go into your subconscious and pull out all the fears, but it's what you do with those. It's recognizing, ooh, this makes me feel uncomfortable. Why am I feeling that way? Is it because I wasn't prepared for this? Is it because mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, I haven't done some internal work that is bringing out like the beast in me? It's time to raise our vibration. It's time to move forward and think logically. This does speak to me about preparedness, but more than anything, emotional preparedness, right? And ultimately spreading love. I keep wanting to return to the fact that every single one of us is being called to action to be a light worker. While there is chaos and anxiety and fears and depressions, even more reason to step out and be the ultimate communicator of love, of spirituality, of peace, of banding together and leading the tribe to a newfound state, to a new victory, right? With wands, it's forward progress, it's forward movement. Yes, off into the unknown. I am going to just reference my candle because the card is coming up. Into the unknown, but rather than focus on all our fears, right? All our dread of what could go wrong. Yeah, absolutely. It's about raising your vibe and being like, this is a spiritual journey for all of us. But what's really cool about the spiritual journey, we are being asked to do it alone in isolation, quarantine, but ultimately remember that we are a community. Even alone, locked away in our little places here and there, we are still all together. So make sure you are reaching out to people and spreading love, letting them know that you're thinking about them, letting them know that you love them, calling up that person and saying, hey, if you need a cup of love, if you need a bottle of water, if you need a meal sent over, like, I got you, right? It's raising your vibration to take care of your tribe. For you to step into like some sort of leadership role and rather than contribute to like the sullen, just kind of like naysayer type energy of, everything's going to shit, we're all falling apart. Maybe we're falling apart so that we can rebuild it right this time, correctly, right? Like we're moving in fast and swift with, I do want to say like medical options, like medicinal healing, but also with love. I just keep wanting to say coming at a new beginning with more love and more water in our cup to spread out to the world. From the moon, we go to the sun. Again, it's so positive to me. It's the dawning of a new day. Anyway, that's what I got. I totally, completely recognize this was a bit of a weird ramble, but I am in a good place right now, and I just feel like I want to send that out to the world. I'm thinking very positive thoughts right now, and sending love and peace to everyone out there who might be going through a difficult time. But again, like we're in this together, like communal, banding together, like we got this. But the people who are saying positive things are the ones who need to step into the leadership role. So I guess I challenge you, what can you do today to be a light worker? What can you do today from, the safety of your place to spread messages of love? Like we are in an advantageous time in that we have social media, we have YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Use those platforms to bring about messages of light and positivity today, because isn't that what we need, right? Like the government will take care of what it needs to, the Health and Safety Administration, they're doing their shit. What are you doing as a light worker today? That is my question to you guys. All right, that's what I got. Apologies for the ramble, but sending you guys love and light, and please be positive and love each other. All right, I will see you very soon for more tarot readings. Yay! Bye, guys.